welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about Act 1, Scene 4 in our All About Hamlet series. Now, if you're familiar with the play, you're probably surprised that I'm dedicating an entire video to just Act 1, Scene 4. It's really a transitional scene between Act 1, Scene 2, when Horatio and Marcellus and Bernardo told Hamlet about the appearance of the ghost, and then Act 1, Scene 4 is when Hamlet goes to see the ghost and then follows him off stage. There are a couple reasons why I wanted to talk about Act 1, Scene 4 by itself, and at least one of those is that there are some things that definitely won't fit into my Act 1, Scene 5 video, if I want it to be a reasonable length at all, that I could add to Act 1, Scene 4. So I hope that you've all read or seen this scene already, because that's how this whole series is going. I expect that you have read or seen the play scene that we're talking about before I talk about it. Because yes, I will summarize as I go. I tend to go chronologically, but that's not the main purpose of this series. The main purpose of this series is to fangirl over this play that is so amazing and hopefully teach you something new that you didn't know before. So this is a great resource for teachers, students, what have you. Alright, so let's dive in. Act 1, Scene 4 of Hamlet. So now we are not inside Elsinore, we're not in Polonius's rooms like we were in the last scene, we're on the platform outside, back where all the guards were at the very, very beginning of the play. And it is super cold. No, there's nothing all that exciting about it being super cold, except for the words that they use to describe how cold it is. Hamlet says, "The air bites shrewdly, it's very cold." And Horatio replies, "It is a nipping and an eager air." Who says that an air is eager? I mean, I know what he means in the original sense. It's this bitter cold. But an eager air, that almost sounds like the pathetic fallacy to me. The pathetic fallacy, if you're not already aware, is not pathetic. The pathetic fallacy is when writers or filmmakers make the weather mirror the thoughts and emotions of the characters. So here we have an eager air, it's really cold, it's bitter. I feel like that mirrors the internal situation of Hamlet, who's completely freaking out. He's in a bad way. This is really common, this pathetic fallacy. If you think about the ending of any Disney movie, literally, they all do this. My favorite example is Beauty and the Beast, because it goes from being stormy, when the Beast is fighting with Gaston, to being rainy and sad when the Beast gets stabbed. Spoilers, I think everybody should have seen the Disney movie by now. And then when Belle declares her love and he turns back into a human being, suddenly sunny skies, and it always is mirroring what's going on with the characters. So I think that's what's going on here. We just don't get to see a lot of it because most of the action takes place inside. Anyway, there is a flourish of trumpets, the ordnance shot off within. Sometimes they call it a piece. It's just a cannon fire. Now, Hamlet just launches into this quite long tirade at this point about why the cannon was shot off, and it's to kind of commemorate the fact that the king is up late partying. And this is apparently a tradition, which I find interesting because Hamlet Sr. is viewed as this god of the sun, this perfect human being, this angel in human form, and apparently he did this too. Woke up in the middle of the night, started partying, and then they set off this cannon. Anyway, Hamlet thinks it's the stupidest thing ever because all the other nations around Denmark look at the people in Denmark and say, ah, those drunken fools. And, you know, maybe they're right, maybe they have a point. At this point, the ghost enters right in the middle of Hamlet's just seemingly endless tirade. Now, I want to point out the fact that Shakespeare himself cast himself as the ghost. Sometimes he would act in his own plays. He was the consummate actor, or at least he loved acting. That was why I think he moved from Stratford-upon-Avon to London in the first place. And so when he got the choice to play any character in Hamlet, he decided to play Hamlet Sr. I have a theory about this that I want to briefly share. Shakespeare had 3 children. There was Susanna, who was the first child, and then there was Judith, and Judith's twin Hamnet. Hamnet, that's right, with an N. Hamnet was Shakespeare's only son. Now, after Shakespeare moved to London, Hamnet caught the plague, I think it was, and died suddenly at age 11. This messed Shakespeare up for several years. It sent him spiraling. Shakespeare actually wrote 4 of his best tragedies right in a row after Hamnet died. So Macbeth was the last one. The others were Hamlet, oh my goodness, King Lear, and Othello, which all look at these themes of death and the meaning of life in really different but meaningful ways. And so to me, it's kind of fascinating that that Shakespeare's son Hamnet had died about 2 years before he wrote this, and he casts himself as Hamlet's dead father. So make of that what you will, but as soon as I put that together, it was extra fascinating. So Shakespeare, the ghost, enters. Hamlet is untiringly long-winded here as well. Shakespeare is famous for not crossing out anything that he wrote. I think it was Samuel Johnson who said he really should have blotted more lines than he did. And there are moments when I agree. As much as I absolutely love this play, do not get me wrong, there are moments, like on these 2 pages for instance, when Hamlet really could have gotten to the point. I mean, his father's ghost appears. It's not the time for a monologue, it's a time to be screaming and freaking out. But I guess I've never been in that experience, so I can't say for sure what that would be like. So Horatio, in particular, Marcellus and Horatio, both tell Hamlet, no, don't go with the ghost, who starts beckoning him to this separate area. Don't go with the ghost. You need to stay with us. We don't know what this ghost really is. It could be a demon that comes up again. But Hamlet's insistent, so insistent that his friends literally hold him back. And then we get this interesting, well, we get a few interesting lines here. I was about to say the page number, I'm a teacher. Anyway, at the end of the scene, Horatio says, what if you go with this ghost, it tempt you toward the flood, my lord, or to the dreadful summit of the cliff, and there assume some other horrible form which might deprive your sovereignty of reason and draw you into madness. What if this ghost drives you crazy? Now, if you know the rest of the play, and I hope you do, I'll post some official spoiler warnings when it comes to those big reveals and deaths and stuff. But Hamlet does at least act crazy through a lot of this play, and it pretty much begins in the next scene when he talks to the ghost, so I think Horatio might be onto something. But anyway, Horatio and Marcellus, while they're saying this, are holding Hamlet back physically from going after the ghost, and Hamlet says, "Unhand me, gentlemen, by heaven I'll make a ghost of him that lets me." That seems kind of silly. I'll make a ghost of him that lets me. Let is one of those interesting words that actually has changed to mean the opposite thing to what it originally meant. So originally, let meant hinder. So he's going to make a ghost of him who hinders him from following his father. Now, of course, let means allow, but back in the day, it meant something opposite, which is interesting to me. Okay, the ghost and Hamlet leave because as soon as Hamlet threatens to kill them, they let him go. And Horatio doesn't seem all that keen to follow Hamlet. Why? I'm not quite sure. Marcellus is all for it. We can't obey his orders. He's clearly not in his right mind. And Horatio says, I don't know. I'm not sure that this is the best way to go. But Marcellus insists, something is rotten in the state of Denmark. There's that famous line at the end of the scene. Nay, let's follow him. So Marcellus insists we have to follow Hamlet. We have to do our duty. Even though he's ordered us not to follow him, his safety seriously is in question here, so we need to do something. I thought I would share before closing a really funky picture that I found of this scene. Let's see if I can get it there. Ah, look at that. Just look how intense Hamlet is there. I think this picture is kind of hilarious. Let me give you a better look there. Yeah, there. Yeah, so Hamlet in this picture is so weirdly intense about getting to his bug-eyed, crazy father. And then who is this? Who is this person? Look, there's a hat with arms also trying to reach for Hamlet. Sometimes illustrations boggle my mind. Like, why did you portray it this way? Did you not like Hamlet as a play? Is that why you did that? Anyway, it's not a bad picture on its own, I guess, but for somebody who loves the play as much as I do, seeing the characters depicted in this ridiculously cartoony, melodramatic way is a little weird, but anyway, I hope you liked today's video. If you have anything you'd like me to address in videos in the future about any of the acts to come, please do comment. Even if this whole series is finished, I would love any questions at all that you have about this scene or Hamlet in general. If you liked this video, then like it and be sure to subscribe. I post new videos on Mondays. I hope to see you then.